Now this might be a familiar face to you guys because today we're having a DF800 FLUX, but in whole white. Yeah, it has tempered glass side rims, also white, just like DF700 FLUX. And basically those two cases, so DF700 and the 800 FLUX, are a new lineup at Antec cases. So that's really cool because first of all, I really like seeing full white and full black cases in terms of literally everything in one color scheme except for the screws. That would be a bit too much, but that would be a nice surprise as well. Now, nevertheless, we have here DF800 FLUX, and today we're actually going to summarize all the temperatures that I had in past DF800, DF800 FLUX with all the configurations. So you basically get loads of information about temperatures in various configurations. But today we have this in white version, which you get white fans, 3 120 ARGB on front. You get one 120 non-RGB at the back. You of course get one on the power supply shroud, and that's basically 5 fans in a very nicely designed case when it comes to airflow as well, even though it's half meshed, almost porter, tempered glass and everything else is still panel, but it still gets enough airflow from the front 3 fans to cool down everything inside them, basically to create that intake. Now, as usual on the FLUX family of cases, you can place 2 fans on top of the power supply shroud that will make additional airflow to your graphic card, giving it more cool air. Of course, at the back you can place 2 2.5-inch SSDs. In the bottom compartment of the power supply shroud you can place one 3.5-inch hard drive, and of course you can remove that, so you'll have more space for cable management, which of course is always appreciated. Now, when we're talking about that, you can really nicely rearrange the cables at the back, giving you loads of openings inside the chassis to reroute the cables, 2 Velcro ties, and you get a couple of more in the box, the accessory box. You get more zip ties and everything else. But before we continue, I think this is quite necessary, so here we go. Complete white. Well, I don't have a white GPU, but let's say something in terms of grayish white combination definitely looks outstanding, I would say. Now, this build compared to other DF800 and 800 FLUX builds that I did and tested, it has 12600K, it has RTX 3080 Ti, and the temperatures are quite nice. Now, let me go from the beginning. The Antec DF800, which had Antec Suprim X 3120 on front, since I had to install fans since it doesn't come with 3120 at the front. Symphony 360 on top, AMD Ryzen 5600G and RTX 3070 Suprim X. In that configuration, CPU went up to 57 Celsius degrees, GPU went up to 64 Celsius degrees. In Antec DF800 FLUX, we had the original fans from the FLUX family on front. We had 5600G, RTX 3070 Suprim X, Symphony 360 on the processor, and I even placed one fan here on the power supply shroud. The CPU went up to 61 Celsius degrees and the GPU went up to also 61 Celsius degrees. So temperature was lower if I placed the fan right here, but maybe even the front fans gave a little bit of a push. So yeah, that's really cool. And when we're talking about this one, Antec DF800 FLUX White, with Fantex Glacier 1360 White, 12600K, RTX 3080 Ti Suprim X, and original fans on front and at the back. CPU went up to 55 degrees Celsius and the GPU went up to 79 degrees Celsius. Now, this is the comparison also with RTX 3070 and 3080 Ti. The 3070, of course, doesn't heat up that much. 3080 Ti Suprim X goes up to 80, maybe sometimes even 85, depending on the case. But in this scenario, it went up to 79, which you also might have seen in my past reviews that it also kept on 79 degrees Celsius. So this is quite alright for this GPU, so you don't have to worry. The CPU, well, we have a 360 radiator on 12600K, so there's that. The case looks just wow, outstanding. I even don't mind the black rims on the front tempered glass part, which has an Antec logo, because it's just a bit of a touch that makes it pop out. That's it. But all in all, I'm really digging the new white look when it comes to DF700 and 800 FLUX family, because they actually do refresh the older models, giving it a new look, quite interesting look, same configuration, everything. You don't have to worry about anything changing inside the case, because they were already quite alright cases, I would say. Great configuration. When we're talking about the back fan, it's still the same thing. You do need to push it down a bit to make more room for the radiator on top, so that you'll be able to push it inside, or you could just take it out, place the 360 on top and push it back in. That's all for today. Antec DF800 FLUX. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Keeps the channel growing and definitely helps. And of course, hopefully I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching today's video and see you next time. Bye bye.